everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my February favorites, and I have a lot of products that I want to share. Some of them were some of my secret products that were really like from January that I've still been loving, but I didn't want to spoil any of those videos yet. So now that I believe I have them all uploaded except for one, I'm going to share those products with you and the other products I have been loving for February. Alright, so the first product I've really been loving is a concealer and a color corrector, and I just did a video on these, but I have been using them for a while now. And these are Korean brand products. These are from Urban Doll Kiss, I think is the brand name, and this is called the Cover Master Tip Concealer, whatever they call it. It has a really long name, but I've been really loving these concealers. I really like the packaging of these as well. They look like little tiny apples, and they're like actual frosted glass packaging, so it's really nice. The only thing is that it's like has such a teeny tiny short little handle because it is such a small little product. So I mean, it's kind of a trade-off, like the cuteness wise, like versus functionality, but it still gets the job done, and I've really been liking these. I especially like the color corrector one too. This one's really good at kind of canceling out any of that dark bluish or purplish undertones if you have any of that under your eyes. This does a really good job at just canceling that out. And if I really feel like spending a lot of time on my makeup, or I just have a little bit of extra time, I like using both of these together, and I feel like it works great, but I feel like they work well on their own as well. So yeah, I've been really loving these. I think these were about around $4-ish or so a piece, so these have been some of my favorite concealers. Another favorite of mine that I didn't quite think I liked at first, but now that I've given it a few more uses, I do really like the Touch in Sol No Poreblem Primer. I got this in my BoxyCharm, so I've only been using it for about the last 2 weeks or so, but I really like it, and I actually like using this together with my other favorite. So I like doing the No Poreblem first, just like kind of all over my face. It just is really nice and silky feeling, and I love that texture. And then since I do have a little bit of larger pores, kind of like in my cheek area and across my nose, I'll use a little bit of my Cover FX Blurring Primer layered with the No Poreblem. I really like how these two turned out together, and I got both of these from BoxyCharm, so I really like this combination. Even though this is so expensive and I probably wouldn't buy it again, I really like the texture of this one, and I really like this one too. It's nice for like a subtle all over kind of blurring, but then using these two together really just makes a huge difference in my opinion. And I also sell this at like Sephora and maybe Ulta now, but if you want to get it for like less expensive, I believe I've seen this at Sweet Korea before, and it's like half the price. It was like $8 or $9 as opposed to like $18 that you would pay for this at Sephora. Another BoxyCharm product that I got, now this is one that I really liked at first, but whenever I actually started using it, I couldn't decide if I liked it or not. Like I said, this is another BoxyCharm product. This one came in my December Boxy Luxe, and this is a face cream. This one is from Elemis. It's called the Pro Collagen Marine Cream, and I really like the scent of this one. It kind of smells like florally and like mimosa trees is what it reminds me of, but it like feels really nice. And this was like an $80 moisturizer, I think. But I've actually started using this one consistently. Like I used it a couple times here or there when I first got it, but I started using it consistently over the past 2 weeks, and my skin has felt so soft and so smooth. The only problem is I feel like when I very first started using it, my skin kind of broke out just a little bit, just like those tiny little pimples, you know, in certain spots or whatever. So then I think I just kind of stopped using it after that. But then I wanted to use it again and like at least get use out of it, because I'm like, well, I have it. I like the way it smells. I like the way it makes my skin feel. So it's kind of like powering through it and hoping like maybe it's just my skin freaking out at first. Like if I change something, sometimes my skin will kind of freak out, but now that I've been using it for a couple days, I still get like a tiny like little pimple, but I think overall my skin has gotten used to this now, and it just makes my skin feel so good. So I'm gonna be really sad whenever I finish this up, because there's no way in hell I'm gonna be buying this again, but I'm glad I got to try it, and yeah, so this is another favorite of mine. Oh, again, and one of my other favorite things is just the packaging of this, because it almost looks like, you know, goes all the way to the edge, and it's like, oh yeah, you're getting a lot of product. But whenever you turn it upside down, you can actually see it stops about there. So just gotta love that deceptive packaging, am I right? So these next two, I cannot remember if I included these in my January favorites or not. I feel like I might have forgotten them, but maybe I did. But I'm just going to show them again in case I didn't. But I have been loving these two lip glosses. These are from Makeup Revolution or I Heart Revolution, and these were 2 of the 3 lip glosses that came in one of my sets. I think it was the Chocolate Vault set, if you guys saw that video. These were 2 out of the 3. The other one was like this really dark kind of like reddish plummy kind of color, which I don't really use that often, and with this type of color and texture I don't like that in a gloss. But these two have been so like pretty and my go-to. Now they do look super similar, but I really want to buy more colors of these. There's like, I think 2 or 3 more that I want to get, but my most favorite one has been the salted caramel one. That's the one I'm wearing right now. These are so thin and not sticky, but very pigmented. I like to apply mine with like a lip liner and just, you know, throw that on top, and that's all I need. So I've been using the NYX Lip Liner in the color Natural. That's like my all-time favorite lip liner. It just matches my lips so perfectly. And I love this one because it makes my lips feel so like soft and smooth. And this one is of course scented like salted caramel. It just smells so good. Oh, it smells so good. And then the other one I have is a little bit more like pinker, I would say, compared to the other one. And this one is called Praline. Again, it has like a sweet kind of dessert scent to it. But overall, these two colors are like super similar, but I have been loving the salted caramel one a lot, but I like both of these, and I'm just not really that much of a lip gloss person until I started using these. My next favorite has been this eyeshadow primer, and I have had this for so long, and I used it for a bit and then I just forgot about it and used other things. But this one is from Ruby Kisses. Now I was using my e.l.f. eyeshadow primer, that $1 one, for a while, and I did like that one, but since I've gone back to using this one, I love this one so much. It was so inexpensive. I remember I got it from like some random website. I think it was called like Beige.com or something. I don't even know if that's still a website or not, but I feel like this is super inexpensive, and I got it because it obviously looked like the Urban Decay primer potion. But yeah, so I just hadn't used it forever, and since I used up the e.l.f. one, I wanted to use this one, and I've really been loving this. It is such a good like eyeshadow primer, and it's so inexpensive, so that has been a favorite of mine. But these are some eyeshadows I've really been loving, and these are just some from an old palette of mine that I had depotted, almost a decluttered, a palette that I had depotted like years ago, and I just never used these eyeshadows again. And I ended up putting like a couple of them in one of these like little empty palettes here. Other note, I love this little palette. I got this from, I think, Shop Miss A. I think it was like $5. It's so pretty. Anyway, these are the shadows I've been using because all month of February I've been doing my makeup challenge, which was to use single shadows only. If you guys remember, like, oh my god, if you remember this palette, then you must be old, because I'm old. And Too Faced used to have this palette, and I don't even remember what it's called, but it was like this fairy palette from forever ago, and it was like this really cute packaging. If I had to guess, I would say it was like 2009 or 10 or something like that. It was really cute packaging, but one of those that were like so not functional at all, and so I ended up depotting all the shadows, and then I never used them again. But I pulled them out for this makeup challenge, and I have just been using these so much. Like, these mattes are so perfect, and it's just amazing. And I almost can't believe these are from Too Faced, because I feel like Too Faced has just, sometimes they're really hit or miss with their eyeshadow palettes, like especially like holiday stuff, but I have been loving these, and I feel like I'm gonna just like keep this little palette together because it's almost like the perfect matte colors I always need. Like, if there's ever a palette I have and I'm like, oh, I like this palette, but it doesn't have this super specific matte blending crease color, this would be just such an amazing palette for that. And there's a few more colors that just didn't fit in here, but yeah, I have been loving those. And again, I'm gonna talk more about that in my makeup update video for February. Oh my god, and I can't believe I almost forgot. This is like the first video I've filmed live like since hitting 3,000 subscribers, so I was really excited for that. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It's taken me like 20 years to get 3,000 subscribers, but who cares? I'm just happy. And yeah, so here's to 3,000 more. So yeah, thank you for subscribing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.